Origin of the inequalities between men and women. The existence of patriarchy as a system of social organization is the origin of women's marginalization in a lot of cultures. All over the world, there are structures of the patriarchal system, for instance, in mindsets. There are still some customs encouraging inequality in work distribution. Practices reinforcing stereotypes. They are especially favored by the publicity in which women are still identified as housewives. Institutions. There are laws that forbid women from exercising their essential rights. Feminism's evolution. Among human beings, there has always been discrimination. One type of discrimination is sexism, that tends to hide women or make them invisible. Several trends of thought decide to modify this inequality. Equality means to recognize and value the biological difference, by awarding equality of opportunities to men and women for developing their abilities. The French Revolution is considered to be the origin of this struggle for equality. In the middle of the 19th century, the suffragist movement appeared to demand the right to vote. Throughout the 20th century, some civil rights were conquered. After the Second World War, the new movements demand a comprehensive liberation facing up to the patriarchal oppression, in English called empowerment. It means a process to creating the conditions that enable a high degree of autonomy and emancipation of everybody and the full exercise of rights. Nowadays, people work for parity of rights for women and men with the aim of overcoming handicaps and putting an end to women discrimination. Getting to equity is a process of liberation that has already started and means the modification of condition and women's position as human beings in work distribution. Patriarchy and education. The existence of patriarchy is the origin of the marginalization of women. What is patriarchy? Patriarchy means governments of parents. We can define it like an organization in which men are the authority in every ambit, and heritage is just for the male sex. The male domination system over women is an oppression structure over women, in addition to being an element of production and reproduction. The power of parents. Familiar system in which men, through the force, direct pressure, rituals, tradition, the law or the language, custom, education and job description decides the place of woman. Why did this takeover take place? Patriarchy would have crystallized with the formation of the right. Woman used to have certain of her son and the father didn't. Because of that, the patriarchy of the male declaration appears. Origin. In the pre-patriarchal society, women contributed 3/4 of the total food needed. They took part in hunting, and it is true that the rock paintings and the fire was their work too. 1840–1913. He was a German writer and politician. He was linked with the socialist movement extended between the workers' class. In 1869, he participated in the foundation of the Socialist Politician Party, very linked with the International Associations of Workers, that one that was created by Karl Marx in London. In 1871, he was chosen as one of the members of the Reichstag, the German parliament. He continued being member till his death. However, he went to prison because of treason to German Empire. His aim of having more social laws and his struggle for the women education gave him many enemies like the German president Otto von Bismarck. People used to say that he was a good politician. Besides, he was the most important member of his party, the one that won the German elections in 1912. He was the director of the socialist publications Born Bonds. Muhammad Yunus. Muhammad Yunus, Bengali economist, Nobel Peace Prize in 2006, has dedicated his career to build a fair economic framework that gives choice to the needy, taking advantage of the microcredit system. He stabilized the Grameen Bank in Bangladesh, with the objective of helping poor people to escape from poverty, providing loans without guarantees to support activities that produce income. The Grameen Bank has progressed to head worldwide movement that is at its peak and whose purpose is to end up with the poverty through microcredits. Currently, the Grameen Bank has 84 million borrowers, The 97% of them, more than 200 million people, mainly women, now have access to microcredits all over the world. And the studies show how they have positively affected their families and communities in various ways. One of the 16 decisions, conceived and followed by the boards of the Granting Bank, consisted in taking girls and boys to school. The Granting Bank encouraged them to do it, and in a short period of time, all the girls and boys already attended school. Lots of them stood out in their classroom. Some grants started to be offered to praiseworthy students, as well as some educational loans were offered to those who have sought to get a separate education. These advances were possible because the Granting Bank's borrowers were women. The impact of microcredits hasn't only resulted in an increase in the home's income and savings, but also in women's employment. Besides, it has reduced families' size maternal and children's mortality, and has guaranteed that millions of children attend school, creating thus a new generation very different from the previous one. John Stuart Mill. Together with Harry Taylor, his wife, he wrote in 1879 The Subjection of Woman. This meant a confrontation with his father. His feminism is based in a very simple premise. Women's suffrage is a fact of justice. His discussion is focused above all in the right to vote, in women's right to education and in marriage questioning because it turns women into objects. Education is his main reivindication of women's access to education. They will educate their children and they will be able to practice business with knowledge. The first record to vote has worked out by Henry Hunt. 3 decades later, John Stuart Mill and Henry Fawcett developed another amendment. In 1977, Mill suggested repealing in the fourth clause the word man by person, therefore women could exercise their right to vote. Sajini Yousafzai. Sajini Yousafzai is Malala's father. He went to Yasenet School, located in Swat. During his time at the university, he was named secretary of the PACOB Students' Federation, a students' association with the aim of the equality of rights between men and women. He inspired Malala to stand up and speak. When he created his own school, he allowed girls to go to school and he supported every woman that wanted to have success in her life and without being an analphabet. He wanted to turn Malala into a person with the same opportunities as a man of her society, and it was because of her father that she wanted to receive an education since she was a little girl.